Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is TBR Schmidt. This is my wife Samantha.
Hello.
And today we are watching episode 9 of The Haunting of Bly Manor. So the final episode.
Yes.
What'd you think of last episode?
Crazy.
Super crazy.
We just finished the last episode in real time, and we just posted episode 8 as well. So
Right.
posting back to back here. Yeah, I mean, we talked pretty extensively at the end of the last episode, so I don't really have a ton to add since we just finished filming that.
Yeah, I mean essentially it just covered everything about the Lady of the Lake, the why, the how, and why Bly is the way Bly is. Maybe something to do with the chest. If you can get the chest out of Bly, that solves everything. We still don't know what's happening with Danny, and it's not looking good. Bunch of crazy stuff can happen, so I'm really excited to kind of see how this wraps up.
Me too. We're essentially picking up at the end of episode 7.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah, me too. So if you'd like to see the full-length reaction to this, as well as everything else that we've reacted to, the link to our Patreon is in the description. If you would like to interact with us on our Instagrams, Twitch, or Twitter, all those links will be in the description as well. And with that, let's get into the episode.
The Beast in the Jungle.
Jungle?
I wonder if they're considering like the forest.
I don't know.
Dominic is dead. Charlotte is dead. Rebecca and Peter are dead. I'm dead. I want to help them.
But you can't.
The most accepting I've seen her.
I would think that I would very much like to spend the rest of my days with you.
You have to help me.
I thought I was.
Out there.
No one's story makes me sadder than Hannah and Owen's.
Brave in death, Hannah.
Oh, Hannah's like her only hope, I feel like.
Going in?
Get inside! Now hide!
What can Hannah do?
But she's not taking her to the lake.
Danny can't have much more time left. This has been like a minute of her struggling to breathe. She's like purple.
Oh, she's not struggling anymore.
No.
Oh, she is.
She's moving a little. Maybe she doesn't kill them until she takes them into the bedroom.
So she caught her on the way in.
So she caught her on the way in, so she didn't kill her that fast until she got up here. So she's not strangling her as tight.
Please, let her go.
Well, it's bringing some memory back of Isabel. Oh, but she's gonna grab Flora.
The weeping wind.
Oh. Oh, and Peter probably thinks it's... Well, if Rebecca's showing herself, then Peter must know what's going on.
I gave you your freedom, and you're letting it drown.
Oh, here comes Henry.
I'm not Henry!
So put her down!
Oh, no. Is he dead? Oh, wow, that was immediate. Oh my god.
Who's that? Jamie?
Oh my god, Jamie came back. Jamie and Owen.
Oh no!
God damn it, everyone's here.
Sorry, Danny, but I'd rather him take Danny. Just take Danny. Let these two go.
We both had an awful dream and we just drove and...
They need you at the lake.
Oh. She's down in the water already. Oh no.
I'll just tuck you away.
It's you, it's me, it's us.
My god, is Flora really about to die?
Something she did not entirely understand. She had to try.
It's you! It's me! It's us!
Did she let Viola into her?
Please tell Owen I'm sorry. Tell him I love him. It's just...
Wow.
They're all disappearing. Please get out of the water.
The au pair invited Viola into herself, and the invitation had been accepted.
So Viola's in
Danny.
Danny.
So sorry, kids. I'm so very sorry.
Where's Hannah?
Check the well.
Owen assisted 5 men from town where they gently lifted the housekeeper's body. He insisted on cleaning her himself, which he managed with a soft towel, soap scented with lavender, and the greatest of care.
Poor Owen.
But he loves her still.
Everything seems to be just so resolved, except for what's going on with Viola.
I know, in their eye. I noticed that outside, but I didn't know for sure.
She's in here. Angry, empty, lonely, beast. Just out of sight.
Can they do anything with this chest, though?
She's waiting. At some point, she's gonna take me.
Like, all she did was just, instead of trapping her in the chest, she's now trapped inside Danny.
Thank you, Flora.
I'm glad finally everyone's leaving this place.
I don't know how I will ever thank you.
I'm afraid Danny's not going to be able to leave because Viola's inside her. Like, she'll get trapped at the border.
You have each other now.
Hadn't thought of that.
You alright, Puffins?
Okay.
I mean, that was the whole plan with Peter taking over Miles.
Yeah.
Was so he could leave.
I don't think we should plan, you know, Christmas.
One day at a time.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm sorry. I'm just being
realistic. One day at a time is what we've got.
What is happening? This is too early in the episode.
There's a lot of episode left.
A trip around the sun. And she was still here.
Whole year.
Have something for you.
The moonflower?
Is that a moonflower?
Yeah. We've got a problem, Poppins. I'm not sick of you. I'm actually pretty in love with you, it turns out.
I feel like there might be a ring in that moonflower.
1 year became 2. And from 2, it spread into an endless time.
Wow.
And that peace held for years, which is more than some of us ever get.
My cooking is still shite. Well, there's your problem. Your roots have been...
Oh, there's the ring.
And I don't know how much time we have left, but however much it is, I want to spend it with you.
I reckon that's enough for me.
Oh.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Oh, he's got a restaurant.
We haven't spoken to the kids in ages, though.
They all came here a few months back. Back across the pond on an adventure. Flora's boyfriend.
Flora's got a boyfriend.
Dang.
She's 12.
She's 17.
Whoa.
The way they talk about Bly, they don't remember anything about it.
What?
Nothing.
Oh my God.
Mentioned Hannah and Flora asked me who I was talking about.
Remember Hannah, they don't remember.
Did I not remember Danny?
The fear of it all that we were so afraid would infect the rest of their lives has just faded away.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. I can't remember my childhood.
Let them live their lives the way they should, without anything hanging over them.
Danny sacrificed herself for them and they don't even remember it.
But it's probably better.
No, yeah.
Jesus! We'll keep an eye on it, and it'll be fine. I'll do the washing up from now on. You shit at it anyway. It's gonna be okay.
God, I'm so afraid for the day that it's not going to be okay.
I know. She hurts Jamie.
Our union is officially civil.
Oh.
Danny? It's okay. It's okay.
I don't
You're still
understand how that is.
here.
Man, poor Danny. Sacrificed herself for everyone.
I'm here. But I'm just really hurt.
Definitely afraid for Jamie, too. Oh my God, that was close.
She's gonna have to leave.
And she could not risk the most important thing, her most important person.
She's going back to Bly.
And so the gardener found herself back at Bly Manor. You, me, us. Drag me down like you did the others. The lady in the lake was also Danny, and Danny wouldn't. No one would ever be taken again, and no one has been taken to this day.
So Danny's the new Lady of the Lake, but won't kill.
The gardener would gaze into reflections, hoping to see her face. She'd leave a door open at night.
So the narrator.
For her lover to return.
Wow.
The au pair's memories would fade. The water will wash away the delicate features of her beautiful, perfect face.
She still has the ring on.
Walked the grounds of Bly, harmless as a dove, leaving the only trace of who she once was in the memory of the woman who loved her most.
I don't love him the most.
That's how it should be.
Could this be Flora?
I start getting really, really terrified that he's gonna before I do, and then what am I supposed to do?
Enjoy that easy silence with him.
Just one day at a time.
I feel like I should hug you. I thought you might be making it up just off that name. My middle name is Flora.
Is that right?
Is that like Owen's son and Miles's? Someone has their hand on her, right? God, that was sad. All right, that was the last episode of The Haunting of Bly Manor. What'd you think?
That was really sad.
That was really sad. I definitely cried more that episode than episodes 1 through 8 combined.
Yeah, I wasn't ready. I didn't have tissues. I didn't have anything. Yeah, that was really sad. I mean, I think we've been very clear that Jamie is by far our favorite person on this show.
Yeah.
So just to see her, you know, and realize that this is her retelling of this entire story, because, I mean, Flora and Miles don't remember.
Yep.
We needed a little clarity at the end because we weren't 100% sure if that was Flora or not. But it was all of them. And obviously it kind of switched to them, but it still seemed odd. I think especially Owen kind of threw us off a little bit.
Yeah, the casting of Owen, it almost looked like that person was younger than Owen. So I was like,
Yeah.
wait a second, is this Owen's son? And this is
he looked
Miles'
young.
son?
But no, that was actually them.
Yeah, that was everyone returning for Flora's wedding.
Right. To probably her boyfriend at 17 that she was so in love with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that was heartbreaking. It was really heartbreaking for Jamie. And the more that you think about it, I mean, you can really tell the older Jamie's narration is really matches Jamie's voice.
Yeah, that was great casting.
Yeah.
Now that you kind of got that reveal that, you know, when Jamie was talking about, or the narrator, I forgot who was talking about, well, they're the same person, but talking about leaving the door open and looking at the water, and that brings you all the way back to the first episode.
Yeah.
Which we even commented on that in that episode. I was like,
Right.
what's with all the water and the door open?
Yeah. So it just came full circle. I mean, the writing, you know, we talked about how much we love the writing on Hill House. I love the writing on Bly Manor. I'm really excited for Midnight Mass as well. But I mean, this was just, I feel like, the perfect way to end this. There wasn't really a way to give this a happy ending. It wouldn't have, I don't think, been well received because this was not a happy show.
No, and we talked about this a lot more than even Hill House, where it felt that things were not necessarily going to end well.
Yeah.
You still had like hope in Hill House. And this is just like every episode was getting worse and stuff was getting bad. And it was like, I would be happy if one person makes it out. So yeah, this was definitely a very sad episode, and things got resolved very quickly that there was so much time left in the episode. We were like, okay, something bad still has to happen.
Yeah.
We can't have like 40 minutes of just catching up with all of the characters.
Right. And we had the time jumps, which I'm never good with time jumps if I don't see like dates and things. So I don't think I realized like how far into the future we were really going, which obviously accounted for older Jamie narrating this piece. It was nice that we got to jump ahead and we got to see kind of the closure for one, knowing that Flora and Miles don't remember.
Yeah, which it's like, that's really good because that's great that they can just move on from this terrible experience. But also, like, that sucks too for Danny to like sacrifice her life for these two kids, and these two kids will never know that someone did this for them.
Yeah, but I think that's the point.
No, that is the point.
Yeah.
So it's better that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Danny didn't do that to be remembered by the kids. She did it because she loved them and needed to save them.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean, we came full circle. We came back to the end. We see all of the older characters. I mean, this episode still had the most amount of tragedy out of any other episode.
Yeah, and I love that they said that Flora essentially said, like, this wasn't a ghost story, it was a love story, because it was. I mean, there was so much love for the entire show.
Yeah.
It wasn't even just Jamie and Danny. I mean, we talked over and over again about Hannah and Owen.
Hannah and Owen was a love relationship. I mean, even though it was toxic, you had the love relationship between Rebecca and Peter, and the love relationship between Henry and I believe her name was Catherine.
Yeah, his sister-in-law.
His sister-in-law, and then the love between Viola and her and Arthur and whatever her sister's name was.
Perdita
or something. So yeah, I mean, every character's arc was somehow revolved around love, whether it was good or bad. But yeah, no, this was much more of a love story than a ghost story.
Yeah, and I guess just kind of recapping the episode a little bit, it happened so quickly at the beginning where everybody ended up back at Bly, and Hannah is fully accepted that she is dead, and her kind of speaking with her internal version of Owen, he convinces her that she needs to do something. So she goes out, she immediately is like, you guys are needed at the lake. I was panicking because I didn't want something to happen to Owen or to Jamie, because I love them both. And then Henry comes in, totally forgot kind of Henry, and he immediately, like, well, we think he's dead. Like,
yeah, he gets pretty much killed within like 5 seconds.
Yeah, like he just gets knocked out, his soul gets knocked out of his body. Luckily, Owen's able to revive him, but Danny she saves Flora in essentially just letting
Viola in. I mean, she saw in the attic, I mean, that whole process, that whole like speech of it's you, it's me, it's us.
Yeah.
So she, you know, it was in her head. Thankfully, that attic experience happened because, yeah, she just was like, this is the only thing I can think of, and let Viola in, and she essentially trapped her inside of her.
Right, and you see in the episode, I didn't want to call it out because I wasn't sure if I was seeing things, but you see her eye color change in that moment when they're in the lake. And it looked like red, but Jamie didn't say anything, so I was like, oh, maybe
I didn't notice either, yeah.
Yeah, and then when they're back in the house, you more see the difference between her blue and reddish brown eye. And then they're able to leave. That was something that we were worried about, is that Jamie and Danny wouldn't be able to leave, which, I mean, makes sense because that was the whole reason that Peter did want to overtake Miles and Flora, which also Rebecca and Peter are no more.
Right.
Every ghost in that house
was freed.
Yeah, was essentially able to leave Bly and go to wherever you go.
And Hannah got her little message to Henry right before she kind of was released from Bly.
And right before Henry comes back.
Yeah.
So at least they were able to get Hannah out of the well. And that was such a nice touch when Owen got to have a piece of Hannah like in the restaurant with her photo.
And went and lit a candle for her.
Yeah. And I mean, in the narration, you hear that he stayed with her like all the way to the corner and then all the way until I guess she was probably buried, which, I mean, that was like, they were obviously soulmates.
Oh yeah.
So
that sucked.
Yeah, that was devastating. And then, you know, for the entirety, I mean, they all kind of keep in touch, but for the entirety of the rest of the episode, we're really getting to see Danny and Jamie.
And I was really surprised. I mean, I was super afraid of Viola inside of Danny, but they lived almost like a decade plus, very happy together and in love, and even years and years without ever even thinking about it, it seems like. You know, and you kind of hear some of that narration of like, I don't remember exactly the words, but it was kind of like you can have these loving memories with someone, and it's not necessarily how long it's going to last, it's the fact, or that it will end, because it will end, but it's to more enjoy the experience and kind of have it day by day. That's kind of how I took it.
Yeah.
I was definitely surprised with how much time they actually got with each other.
Right, which I'm happy that they did, but I guess it makes it all the more devastating when Jamie loses her.
Yeah.
And that part, like, I completely lost it when Jamie gets back to Bly and she's in the lake. She's screaming for her, and it's now Dany.
And the narration too, it's talking about how Jamie in that moment is like begging to be killed by the Lady of the Lake too. But because it's Dany who is now essentially controlling everything, she refuses to kill Jamie.
Yeah.
That was such a powerful and sad scene of Jamie swimming into the lake and seeing Dany's body down there.
Right.
Jamie talks about how, you know, that Bly is still there, but not by that same name. If you do see Dany/Viola, you wouldn't really know, or you wouldn't be able to, or stuff. So it's weird because it's like people got happy endings, but not perfect endings.
More realistic considering this is about ghosts.
Yeah, I mean, when you really break it down, no one really got a good ending except for maybe the kids. I mean, Henry, the love of his life, and his brother died. Owen, the love of his life, died. Rebecca and Peter both died. Jamie's love died. I mean, the only two people who weren't really affected were Miles and Flora, and they don't remember anything. So it's almost like it's like the sacrifices of the adults to protect the kids and shield them from this terrible truth, and now they take on all of this guilt, and not necessarily guilt, but pain and suffering, but it allows the two kids to kind of flourish and start anew.
Yeah, and clearly, I mean, the kids don't remember, but also they've had to have changed their names. Because Flora is now Flora's middle name.
Yeah, which was that always her middle name? I
don't think so.
I don't really remember.
Yeah, so I mean, the kids were, I guess, essentially the most important part in making sure that their future was not totally ruined by their time at Bly.
And also when Jamie was telling the story, it's not like she was saying like, oh, me, Jamie. She was saying the gardener or the au pair or like, so she was clearly telling the story in a way where she could tell it directly to Flora and Miles, and they wouldn't even really put the pieces together.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it was the perfect end for this series.
Yeah.
But I'm very sad.
Oh, that was such a sad episode. That was brutal from start to finish.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. I think it was a perfect way to wrap up. I mean, this whole series, it definitely starts very slow. The first like 4 episodes, you kind of like are still kind of figuring things out. But definitely the last couple of episodes, it really just ties everything together, and it pulls so much from the beginning episodes into these that makes it so much more impactful.
Right.
I feel like watching this a second time, you would notice so much more and see so much more, and you would be that much more appreciative of all of the little clues and details.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and this just ends with kind of /sad/happy, which is like the feeling of the whole show. But it's Jamie doing her little water trick to try to see Dany, hopefully, I assume. Leaving the door open if Dany would come into the door or something, and sleeping in an uncomfortable chair staring at the door. And when the camera pulls back, you see a hand on Jamie's shoulder.
Yeah, and I think it's Dany because the ring.
I would assume it's Dany, as she has a ring on the finger.
Right.
So kind of going with what Jamie was saying to Flora in the very end, that even when someone's gone, you will have these little memories or moments. Sometimes they're sad and they'll make you cry all day, or sometimes they're happy, but they're always with you. So I feel like that's a perfect little way to kind of cap it, is that even though Dany's gone, she's always with Jamie.
Right.
Even if Jamie can never really see her.
Right.
It was a beautiful series. I really enjoyed it. I think it's just another impressive experience kind of put together by Mike Flanagan, and I'm super excited to kind of check out Midnight Mass.
Yeah, me too. I want to explore just more Mike Flanagan, like give us movie recommendations, all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you would like to see the full-length reaction to this, as well as everything else that we've reacted to, the link to our Patreon is in the description. If you would like to interact with us on any other types of social media, all those links are in the description as well. And with that, peace everyone.
Bye.
Bye.